Okay, so thank you for coming to this session today. My name is Olin, and I'm going to be talking about breaking into user research and how you break, how to break into the world of tech without needing to know anything about coding or anything about create programming or anything like that, but you can actually work within the IT industry. So today we are going to sort of be talking about user research, what it is, and how it can sort of help you to open doors to the exciting world of digital. Okay, so why tech? We all know everything is sort of all gone digital now. I think tech is kind of everywhere. You can't avoid it. So there's a lot of growth within tech. There's a lot, it's causing quite a lot of impact. I think to think back to the time where we used to actually live without a mobile phone feels like ancient ago. It feels like the dinosaur era now because we are so used to using technology now. We are so used to using tech in everything we do. Even like, our grandparents in the village have got a mobile phone. So everything is kind of moving towards tech. So there's loads of growth, loads of impact, and a lot of opportunities within that. There's an annual growth within the tech industry of about 22%, and that's huge. And, the salaries tend to be much higher than other roles, which require similar experience. So you sort of see that there's kind of like a huge salary jump that you can achieve by, being more technical or, working within IT. And also there's quite a lot of work flexibility. Thank God for COVID. So sometimes you can say that, sometimes you can't. But, because of COVID and everything else, that sort of like, it has really made um, working within IT a bit more flexible. So I remember working with someone who had just had a baby and they could continue working. They were breastfeeding on a Zoom call, with the camera off. So you can, it's sort of like it's opened a lot of opportunities for people. It has got a bit more a bit more flexible as compared to the traditional jobs, if we may call them that. So you can sort of see that there's a lot more flexibility. That's why it's becoming, you know, more and more attractive for people to move into tech. So what is this user research about? And, why could it be a bridge to your success and a bridge to product development? So everything that we sort of get within tech, we get different services, we get different products being built. But for these things to be successful, we need to understand the people that are going to use these things. Because if we build things that are not usable, then no one will buy it. Or if we are not actually moving in line with how people are behaving, we get left behind. So you can sort of say, like, over the years, we have had different things that have kind of evolved and sort of moved on over time. So I remember the days when, the mobile phones, everyone had a BlackBerry. And, it was kind of like a big thing. And you had your BB, whatever number. I didn't have one at the time. Funny enough, I had gone Nokia at the time. So, but if they don't, because they didn't sort of move with time and sort of like keep up with what was going in the market, they got this big influx of people using their phones. And then, other companies like Samsung, they kind of continued to innovate, continued to improve their products. And now you hardly, I have recently seen someone who still has their BlackBerry, but it's no longer like a big name anymore within tech, within IT. So you sort of see that things move really quickly. So user research provides that product success by actually, you know, understanding human behavior. How do people behave? You know, uncovering what people actually need, inspiring new solutions to real problems, you know. So that's what user research is all about. It's about really understanding that human behavior, helping these big organizations that are creating these lovely products to actually focus on their market and really understand who they're selling to. Because if you don't understand who you're selling to, then they'll move to someone else who understands them better. You know, iPhone sort of went for its own market of like, well, they were going to create these high tech, mobile phones that will be of a higher price. And, they didn't sort of go for the mass market. They sort of went for, a market where people kind of wanted more more of the technology. They have their own features and things like that. And, you can sort of see a lot of people, I've got friends and family that use iPhones and they can never use anything else. But then you also have like companies like Samsung, they produce like the high-end version of a phone, and then they can have the low end version of that sort of does similar things, but maybe not some features and things like that. So they're kind of targeted for the mass market. So, it's about understanding that human behavior, and we as user researchers, that's where we come in to sort of understand who our target audience and how big is that target audience, so that when these features and these things, products are being created within the digital world, they're actually tailored for that market. And, so it's kind of where user research, you're uncovering these insights of actually what people need and making sure organizations can create things that are more marketable within their industry. So, can you actually transition from any role to go into user research? A lot of us have got experiences that we've gathered over the years from, our current careers to wanting to go into tech. And sometimes it's not about even leaving your current career. It's about how do you progress from where you are? How can you actually leverage tech for your next promotion? How can you actually leave this job you're doing and actually, join the world of tech? So me, myself, I kind of did that years ago now. I used to be a physics teacher. I used to teach science up to, I used to teach science up to GCSE and physics up to A level. So I loved my job and I still love teaching. And so I'm still trying to do courses and train and teach because that's my passion. That's me. If I learn something new, I want to share it out and explain things. That's what I find easy to do. So that's kind of like, my passion to teach and help others achieve their potential. So started out in education and, in my church, my pastor managed to get um some people to come and train us on project management within IT. So I did the project management training. And when I did the project management training at the time, I was mainly using it for church. So I was using it for, you know, uh, running church programs. We had like really well structured church services and running the children department, which I used to run then. So I was kind of just using all the templates from Prince 2 to do that, just applying the knowledge that we had learned on, on project management. And we sort of ran each church service as a project and sort of like, looked at all the contingency plans, all we really had like a well structured service using project management at the time, and I was still teaching, and I was kind of just looking at, okay, how do I, how do I make more money and how do I leverage my skills? So so that started me off. I got my Prince 2 foundation and I got my Prince 2 practitioner not long after that. But I just packed it. I was just using it for this. And it wasn't until I sort of got to London and I sort of managed to get someone who was doing practical work experience within IT, so working on projects and sort of getting that experience. So that sort of then together with the knowledge I'd learned. So I had a lot of knowledge on Prince 2, on project management. I then got another organization that was offering practical work experience. And by combining the two, that helped me to then make that jump from teaching to sort of I started out as a business analyst. So I was a business analyst for the Department for Education, and I was there for a number of years. So that was sort of like my pivot uh, job from teaching. And it actually helped that it was the Department for Education, funny enough, because I sort of understood the world of education. So all the things that, I'd learned as a teacher, how things work in schools and things like that, really helped me in this, my first role. So you can see that it doesn't matter where you're starting from, there are loads of skills and there's loads of knowledge that you already possess from that industry that you can actually leverage to your tech role. So I got the Department for Education. I used to be a teacher. So within the Department for Education, and I think one other thing is kind of just being committed to lifelong learning as well. So continual learning as you're going along, you're sort of building up on your skills. You're always looking at the market, seeing what's going on. How can I improve my skills? How can I be the best at what I'm doing? And what tools, what things are out there that can help me stay on top? And that's what we sort of, help people with at Career Springboard. We sort of help you need that background, you need the knowledge bit, you need the practical work experience side of things. And we also help you with, looking for roles and things like that. So that's how I managed to grow my career from being a teacher, which was a non-tech job, to moving on to become a business analyst, to growing my career and actually looking and exploring within my industry. So I've worked as a Scrum Master now, I've worked as a user researcher, I've done some content writing. So it's really looking at what's required and developing and kind of leveraging the skills that we already have. So it's not about starting from scratch at all. It's about leverage and actually improving and increasing your skills. So what are we offering here? At Career Springboard, we are offering this course, which is to help you to pivot, to move from whatever role you are to join the world of tech. So we will cover quite a number of things. So like I said, you need that research foundation. So this is the knowledge bit to understand the methodologies, the ethical considerations you have to consider, all those kind of things. We'll cover those in details, and we've got resources that, will give you access to, that will give you all that information on how do you select a methodology, how do you know where to start, if you get a brief, what do you do? So we cover all of that. We also have the practical application where we give you projects for you to go and work on and do research on. And, that will sort of help you to build your portfolio. So your portfolio of case studies, because when you go for your interviews, you're not sort of saying, oh, when I was a teacher. No, you're saying, I was on this, I was teaching this class and I had this problem. I had some children that were underachieving. So I had to identify those children, understand why they were underachieving, create, based on the insights I got from doing the research, I then applied it and helped those kids go from getting a 30% grade to 60%. So you are really looking at how do you get actionable insights. You know, you are doing that in your normal job anyway. When you suggested that improvement to your boss, when did something within your company, we are now trying to look at those projects, because what is a project? A project a project is something that has got a start and an end. So a project is a temporary, is a temporary um organization, or a temporary thing that's created to achieve an objective. So when you think about it on a daily basis or on a monthly basis in your current jobs or in what you're doing now, you have worked on multiple projects. Like yesterday, I worked on a project. It was to cook dinner. I had to make sure that all the things were there. It was a temporary thing because I started it and I finished it. So it's a project. So you're really looking at all those projects you have done in the past and reframing them so that you can use them to help you with this career jump. I don't encourage people to lie in their CVs, but I encourage people to actually look at what they've done and bring out these things. Because trust me, if you've been working in any job anywhere, you've done projects and they were just not called that. But, what we do here is to help you package those things as projects, really structure them and see how they were project. What was the problem? What were we trying to solve? What did we do? What was the outcome? Really looking at that and helping you with preparing your portfolios, preparing your CV, making sure that you have the interview techniques that are required to land a job within tech. Because it's not about, they will not ask you how many degrees you've got. I still have a physics degree. I don't have an IT degree, but I've been working in IT for the last 10 years. So really it's about the skills, the knowledge that you've got that that you can leverage. And they really kind of even prefer people that are not sort of IT graduates. Because as an IT graduate, you're just IT focused. But if you've actually worked elsewhere, got all this breadth of knowledge that you are now bringing and applying these skills to, it makes you a more attractive candidate. And one of the reasons why they took me at Department for Education is because I understood the education system. So yeah, IT, great. I had some skills, but really what made me stand out, is that I actually understood the education system. So when I started working on projects like the apprenticeship program, I sort of like understood why apprenticeships were more beneficial to going to university. Why, because I had actually taught in schools and sort of saw the different pathways and things like that. So, that knowledge that I already had from something not related at all actually made me stand out. So, we shouldn't see it as a disadvantage that we've got these other skills from elsewhere. It's actually like something that will make you stand out within organizations and actually be able to apply, because you've got that world experience well beyond just coding and the other things. You are bringing, what you're bringing is unique. So you should see it as such and really aim to bring that out so that you can land your first role within tech, within user research, within business analysis. How can you leverage and sort of land your first role? So that's really crucial. So to see that it's actually great that you're starting from outside tech. So what sets our course apart? So we do one-to-one mentorship. So this is where we give you personal guidance from industry professionals. So not just myself, I've got colleagues, people that I've worked with, people that I've sort of thought, this person is great and knows their onions. So, they can sort of like help you um step up and, that guidance that you need. Because sometimes it's not just about landing the role, it's also about keeping the role. So, you get stuck, it's still new to yourself. You've got someone that you can go back to and sort of say, hey, they've given me this brief and I'm not too sure. And someone can sort of walk you through it and help you through it. That has been sort of like one of the pivotal things, the amount of people that we still talk, we still kind of like brainstorm about what they are working on to just help them, in that role. It doesn't mean that you are any less or, you're not good at your job, because especially if you move into the world of contracting, you're expected to be joining in as an expert. So if you then, you know, have any hiccups, you kind of need to have a backing team somewhere to help you out to sort of make sure that, you keep that job and you keep showing your best side. We've got community access where we are sort of building a network of peers, user research leaders, so that you've got others to ask about things and to share and to just talk. You need people that will build you up, not people that will bring you down. Industry recognition. So our courses, we are trying to sort of get them to be endorsed. So we are looking at, we are in the process of registering even with the Department for Education to try to get our courses to be more recognized. So that's still a work in progress. We'll try to sort of put you on real projects. So it might be projects that have happened in the past, but it's really trying to get you into understanding how to run research and how to conduct research. So what are the next steps? So the next steps are we've got the course starting for 8 weeks. So it doesn't matter whether you are sort of joining on week 1 or week 2, because the course will be sort of running. So you know where you have started. We'll have recordings for the sessions you have missed, and you can actually redo those sessions in later courses. So we are starting on the 2nd of June. And if you're not ready for starting for the 2nd of June, you can still speak to us and we will be able to keep you on our list for the next courses coming up. So what's the investment? The investment for you to start on this course is $799. There's an early bird special of $599, which ends on Friday. So it's $899, which you can pay, $799, which you can pay across 3 months if you want to sort of like, break it down, or you can pay it in 2 payments so that by the end of the 8 weeks, you have completed all your payments. So you can pay 400 to start and then pay the other 400, at the start of the following month. Or if you take our early bird, then you can split that into two lots, £300, and then do another £300. So that's the investment cost. We do have a registration process. It is simple. You need to book an interview with us, or a call with us, so that we can see whether you are the best fit for this role or for this course, and we can have a quick chat to see whether this is suitable for yourself. You can also join our community. We have free content and updates. We've got, career descriptions for tech roles and things like that. Loads of resources that we've got available for you to have a look at and really understand what working in tech is all about before you jump on any of our courses. So you can join our community, or if you're ready, you will get an email after this call that will give you the links that you need to either join our community or to book a one-to-one with ourselves so we can talk to you about this course in more detail and yourself and sort of see whether this is the best fit for you. So, yeah, thank you so much for attending this session. If you've got any questions or anything like that, book a session with us and we'll be right there to speak to you and to help you on your career journey. Thank you very much.